Well, I had just some things to chat with you about this morning for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. You may hear a helicopter going around outside. The police are looking for somebody. We don't generally have that around here, but they're looking for them at this moment, so hopefully they will find them. So if you hear the helicopter go by, just ignore that. All right, I'm going to get real about Thanksgiving here, okay? And the reason I am is because I got up this morning, I look at social media, and everybody's got their pictures on there, their wonderful family. Everything's perfect. Come on now, seriously? So this is a realistic appraisal of stuff, because if you look at social media and you look at the movies and you look at TV shows, you can come to the conclusion that everybody's family's perfect and yours is all terrible and you suck. And it can be distressing, it can be depressing, it can be discouraging. So I want to share with you that, people can look at social media influencers like me. I guess that's what I am. That's what Chuck Michelle says I am on GunGuyTV anyway. And they can say, well, that guy's got a perfect life. He's accomplished so much more than me. I had a guy that I've kind of befriended who follows me who says, but you've just accomplished so much more than me. No, I haven't. I haven't accomplished anything all that grandiose. I just happen to be on YouTube and Rumble and like that. I'm on social media and I've got a lot of followers, at least on YouTube anyhow. But that doesn't mean that I'm any more, colossal than anybody else. I don't have a special secret squirrel way of living life. I don't have any of that. And my family is just as messed up as everybody else's. Now, that's probably not true. I'm sure that there are people whose families are more messed up than mine in certain ways. But my family's not perfect. The kids have got strife against each other, and then sometimes, we can't get together as a family. I had always hoped, because I came from a family that was kind of close-knit, that our family would be close-knit. That just isn't. And at the same time, Nick and Sol and his wife, Marisol, Nick and Sol and their daughter, and Sol's pregnant, so the daughter on the way, are going to go spend time with her mother's side of the family. Now, there you go. There's a division right there, right? So even in her family, you got the mother's side and the father's side. They're not spending time together for Thanksgiving. They're divided. And you're going to find that in just about every family. So last night, my wife and I went out and had dinner by ourselves to celebrate Thanksgiving the day early so we could avoid the craziness of Thanksgiving at restaurants. And it was a very funny experience. It wasn't quite what we expected, and it was hilarious. And that's a story for another day, and we laughed like crazy on the way home. Today, Thanksgiving morning, I'm on my own because, again, my son and his family are going to go spend time with her family. And my wife and my daughter are going with my daughter's friend to go to the movies, and I'm not invited to that. It's a girls' kind of a thing, and then they're going to go to the beach and whatever. And so the old man is home for Thanksgiving by himself. Tonight, my wife and I are going to grill some burgers and like that, and just have a kind of a quiet evening at home. Well, I'm half Italian, and I was raised that, family gets together like that. And I have all these fond memories as a kid of the family being together at my grandmother's house, and my grandmother cooking all this food like that. And what I forget is that, but I had uncles who couldn't stand each other, and I had family members who barked at each other and made snide little remarks and like that. But as a kid, I didn't really notice it that much. But I know that for my grandparents, that was kind of painful. They did it because you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to get all the family together. But you know what I'm talking about. Family is, anytime you get two people in a room, you got a little bit of drama. You get three people in a room, you got drama and politics and all this other stuff. And families are the same way. And then at the same time, sometimes your kids hate each other's guts. Sometimes they don't speak to you. Sometimes they don't speak to each other. Sometimes, you might have a kid who loves one parent, doesn't like the other one, and won't have anything to do with the other one, or the reverse or whatever. Or you have all kinds of, maybe one kid has accused other kids of things. And, so it's all this stuff that can happen in families. And here's the key. It does happen, and it happens in most families, probably next to all of them. And so when you go on social media and you see the perfect photo of the family all standing there with their perfect outfit, standing in front of the tree or in front of the turkey or whatever, and they're all giving you the perfect, aren't we the greatest family on the earth? You can just take my word for it. That's nonsense. My wife and I used to invite, one year we stood up in front of church and we said, anybody who doesn't have a place to go, you can come to our house for Christmas. 63 people showed up. We live in a small house, okay? 63, not 23, 63. And we thought, well, we better do this every year. But these 63 people who showed up, you would never have known from their public performance, and I'm going to call it that, it's a performance, that they had anything going on in their family. Some of these people were married, and they came by themselves, and their spouse did not come because they and their spouse could not get together, could not get along. They had a horrible marriage, and you would never have known because we were always taught as kids, don't air your dirty laundry in public. The public photo, the public thing, that's everything. We did that for probably 15 years, and eventually other people in church started doing it too, so the crowds at our house got smaller and smaller, but it still averaged 25, 30 people. Until one day my kids said to us, can we have at least a Thanksgiving and Christmas as just a family once? We said, sure, and we'd stop doing it. Well, you know, that's every family. I'm just telling you that, my friend. It's every family, it's everybody, it's not just you, okay? So don't think it's just you. So I want to encourage you. We have strife and struggle in our family. This is a weird Thanksgiving. This is the first Thanksgiving without my mom because she passed away in January, so we have the year of firsts where we're going through the first birthday that she had without her around, the first Thanksgiving without my mom, the first Christmas. My parents and I were very close. I was very close to my mom. I was very close to my father. And unfortunately, they're both gone. And I miss them terribly. And it's taken me, you know, we own the condo that she was in because we bought it for her and for her husband 20, almost 30 years ago. And it's still in our name. But I just couldn't bring myself to go over there and go through her stuff and kind of get it ready to be rented as a rental. And it still isn't rented. It's still vacant. We're still making a payment on it because it took me until August or early September to just be able to go over and deal with some of her stuff because it was such a sad thing for me. So every family has this stuff going on, okay? It's not just you. When I got up this morning, I started to feel a little sad. You know, we're not having a big dinner like I'd like to have. It's not happening this year. It probably won't happen again because, again, kids get married and they move and they have their own kids and like that. And so we're experiencing the empty nester thing. Now, we've been empty nesters for a while, but this is the first time we've had to experience it in quite this way. And I thought to myself, okay, Lord, I can either be discouraged or I can be thankful for what the blessings that you've given me. And I'd rather choose that tack. I think whether we're thankful or not is a choice. It's not forced upon us. Whether we're happy or not is a choice. It's not forced upon us. Our circumstances can try to force sadness and depression and discouragement on us. But we get to decide whether we wish to be sad, discouraged, or depressed. We can decide not to be by focusing on the things we're going to be grateful for. So to share some scriptures with you real quick. Psalm 26, kind of halfway through verse 6 into verse 7 says, I come to your altar, O Lord, singing a song of thanksgiving and telling of all your wonders. You know, sing a happy song. Sing a song about the Lord. We praise you, O Lord, for the Son of thy love, for Jesus. You know, you can go and sing, you know, if you go to church, you know church songs, sing them. Right now, just singing that little bit lifted my soul, lifted my heart. And it'll do the same for you. Let's go over to Psalm 29 here. Psalm 29 in verse 7, the Lord is my strength and shield. I trust him with all my heart. He helps me, and my heart is filled with joy. I burst out in songs of thanksgiving. So thanksgiving is about being thankful for what you have, not depressed about what you don't. We all have things to be thankful for, and if we focus on them, it's a choice to focus on those rather than the things that we wish we had. And we're more joyful, we're happier, we're more encouraged, and we can also encourage one another. You know, my Bible says encourage one another daily as long as it's called today. Well, Thanksgiving Day is called today, and I want to encourage you because, you know, my Thanksgiving isn't perfect either. My family's certainly not perfect. There's struggle and strife and disagreement and all this kind of stuff. And there's, like I said, there's politics and drama in there, and there always are. How about Psalm 100? Shout with joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him, singing with joy. Acknowledge that the Lord is God. He made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving. Go into his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. For the Lord is good. His unfailing love continues forever, and his faithfulness continues to each generation. I am not alone. Even though my wife and my daughter are gone, my son and his family are gone. I'm here out in the shop by myself. I'm getting ready to go meet Pete for lunch because he got stuck flying a customer because he's a pilot, flies Gulfstreams around, and he's going to meet me down at the local airport. He's got half the day. So I talked with my wife, they're going to go, my wife and daughter are going to go out to the beach with their friends and like that. And I get it. My son and his family's gone. I got all day. It's Thanksgiving Day. That's okay. I'm going to go hang out with my friend. He's got all day. He's waiting for the customer to come back so I can fly him to the next place. That's fine. We'll make it work. And my wife and I celebrated Thanksgiving as empty nesters last night. We'll have a nice dinner this evening, sit down, have a glass of wine. My wife and I have a good marriage. It's not a perfect marriage. We struggle with things. Don't think we don't, because we do. But it's not a perfect marriage, but it's a good marriage, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So I have a lot to be thankful for. My daughter and I don't really have the relationship we used to have. I wish we did, but we still are kind to each other. We still talk. We still are, we acknowledge one another and so on. We just don't we don't spend the time together that we used to spend. But I can still be grateful for the fact that she isn't estranged from me, because she's not. That she's close to my wife in a way that she used to be kind of close to me, but she's not anymore. But she's close to my wife still. I can be grateful for that. I'm extremely grateful that my son and I are like peas and carrots. We're super close, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm grateful for our grandchildren. I'm grateful for our friends. I'm grateful that we've got the money to pay the bills, because a lot of years we didn't, and we had our Franks and Beans years just like everybody else. I'm grateful for all of these things. I'm grateful that I'm pretty healthy, that my wife's pretty healthy, that our kids are healthy. These are all things to be grateful for. I'm grateful that this country is the best country in the world, even though we're going through a lot of strife in the country. And I'm grateful for the Lord. And, like I said, we've been through our tough times, and we still will go through more. And I think this is the last scripture I'll share with you out of Isaiah 51, because this is talking about the promise coming in the future for Israel, and it relates to us as well. It says in verse 3 of chapter 51, "The Lord will comfort Israel again and have pity on her ruins. Her desert will blossom like Eden, her barren wilderness like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found there. Songs of thanksgiving will fill the air." It says the Lord will comfort Israel again and have pity on her ruins. At the time that this was written, there was no joy in Israel. It was in ruins. It was struggling. It was tough. And the prophet Isaiah said, come along. Now look, I know you're going through a lot. I get it. You're going through a lot. I understand. But the Lord will comfort you again and have pity on your ruins, on all the terrible things that have happened. Her deserts, your deserts will blossom like Eden, your barren wilderness like the garden of the Lord. Think about the Garden of Eden. Joy and gladness will be found there. Songs of thanksgiving will fill the air. It's a promise of the Lord. So even if you're having a tough time right now, because the holidays are tough for a lot of people. I mean, we all want to pretend they're not. We all want to say, oh, gee, I'm so happy, and because everybody else is happy, and I'm going to post a picture on social media and say how happy I am, when we're not. Look, we got to stop doing that. I mean, we don't want to depress each other, but we got to be real. We got to be real. So I'm just going to tell you, every one of those things that you see on social media, you see on the news, where everybody is just, their family's perfect, and they're happy, and they're real, and everything's just hunky-dory and peachy keen, and life is a bowl of cherries, that's nonsense. Nobody has a life like that. Trust me, everybody has a life like you've got. It's tough, there's drama and strife and argument and disagreement. Even the holidays are like that, and it can be really discouraging, okay? Here's my suggestion. First, focus on the Lord, right? Sing a song of gladness. Focus on the things that you are thankful for. Like the old song, I think Bing Crosby sang it, Count Your Blessings, okay? Because you got a lot of them. And if you focus on the blessings, guess what? all the difficult things and the things that you hate that are going on in your life, they pale by comparison, and they start to sink to the background, and you're focused on the blessings that God has given you. Wow, isn't that a better way to live? Isn't that a better way to do? Isn't that a better way to think? I think so, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving. You're not going to have a perfect one. Nobody does. But I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope your holiday season is wonderful. I hope you have a great Christmas and a great New Year. And if it isn't perfect, and it's not exactly the way you want it, focus on the things that are blessings there. You will find them. You have a lot of them. There's a lot to be thankful for. Share the video. Maybe somebody else needs to see it too. And thank you very much for watching.